Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if you were Sean Diddy Combs, it has begun. Remember when we told you that Diddy wanted to quiet everybody that said he was a POS, and he wanted to quiet everybody because he's going to start on his comeback? Well, guess what? Mark Agnelio was in the kitchen cooking up something great, and the best they got us was, did he start domestic violence and drug programs in prison? It's all about redemption. Mofo, you've been locked up in those with those rats and roaches for the last 2 years. How long has this man been locked up? At least the last 30, 65 calendar days. You've been locked up with the rats and roaches. You could never get into a program like that. You can never get counseling. You
Present,
literally have been
and
drop
no
kicking
longer
men and
has a
women for the
voice who will
last 20
pursue
years.
justice for her
Okay, I don't
accusation.
care that the feds didn't
As
bring
of the
enough
taken
proof and
against
didn't call
Diddy,
enough witnesses.
no expansion of the
We all know what this
investigation,
is.
no
Even Diddy
isolation
admitted
orders,
he's a violent
no
criminal and
equipment
those high-risk
access,
lawyers.
no
And now
suspension
you're
of
now
attorney
coming in
communication.
and telling us that you finally, when you want to make sure Judge Aaron does not throw the book at you, you are finally checks notes getting into prison to work on your wayward ways. Diddy, you are the patron saint of wayward smacks workers. You are a violent convicted 2 times federal smex crime criminal. Y'all, who is this for? I know who it's for. This is about the people that want him to. And hear me out. Judge Aaron is going to give Diddy what he gives them. If he gives him 5 years, Diddy's going to try to appeal. If he gives Diddy probation, I don't know. I think the world might, whatever. But just hear me out on this, because it's something that needs to be said. Diddy's team is doing this one to set up an appeal to see if they can get out earlier if Judge Aaron throws the book at him. But there's another thing that's happening that nobody actually wants to talk about. Diddy's team needs to give the public, the people that want to forgive him, they need to give him them something to hold on to. If Diddy just goes in and out, if he just goes in and out and there's no rehabilitation, how can you show your face in a Sean John tank top? How can you go to a Diddy reunion tour? How can you stand there when Diddy and Kanye allegedly go on the group thing? It's almost impossible. Now hear me out on this though. Who is buying this? Didn't Diddy tell us, and I guess Diddy is a convicted liar. Did Diddy not tell us that he had already tried to get counseling when he was beaten on Cassie? Didn't he tell us that? Didn't Diddy try to get counseling when he got caught beating on But the thing is, he tried to get into it, and then he got arrested. And when he got arrested, he was in jail all this time, literally coordinating photo ops with Baby Love, having her like daddy cake. Wasn't he having all his kids being like, yeah, it's just a legacy? Wasn't he having everybody do all that stuff? But he never once bothered to get help for the issue. Again, let's get into this article. I will say this, and I've said it once and I've said it twice. I do believe that if Diddy is let out with just probation, I don't think it will. But if he is, I firmly believe he is going to land himself back in jail in the next 5 or 10 years. Either that or he's going to land himself broke from paying somebody off, or somebody's going to literally wind up floating in the Hudson so Diddy can't protect himself. Again, I don't care what anyone says. The fact that Diddy knew he was under federal surveillance, the fact that he knew he was facing RICO charges, the fact that he knew one of the charges were the violence, but another kidnapping is SBMX traffic, but another was the man act transportation of SBMX workers, and he couldn't help himself. Not only did he transport SBMX workers time and time again, but he also brutally beat up the woman and then forced her to service the sex worker. It does not matter to me that the jury somehow thought that's what happens in these swinging lifestyles. Even though the swingers have said leave us out of it, we don't know what's going on. Swinging lifestyle is nothing like Diddy said. Let's get into this. This is directly from TMZ at this point is Diddy's PR people. But get it how you live it, right? Mark, Garagos, what's it called? Nat Morals. Listen, this PR web goes very, very deep. Get it how you live it. Diddy is already attempting to rehabilitate himself. He's enrolling in self-improvement programs while in federal lockup to address his drug use and violence against women. Sources close to the T situation tell TMZ that Diddy is in the STOP program. Of course, the feds offer inmates focus on preventing sexual assault, domestic and dating violence. Let me get this straight. Diddy is in a program that's going to prevent SADV and dating violence. We're told he's undergoing therapy as an member and is in the Dr. Harvey K. Wexler drug abuse program. You know, that boy is going to get high off his own supply soon as he gets out. He probably when he thought he was getting out on bail, they had the two-eye lining up. The jury basically told him that he can pass drugs to whoever he wants, and that's not distribution. It's not illegal. The jury told him that he can beat up girlfriends, that he can force people to engage in sexual acts. The jury told him it's all okay. So I mean, I see why he's like, let's get this poppin'. Our sources say Diddy is using the programs to work hard on bettering himself. And one source called it his path
Present,
toward redemption.
and no
I
longer
know there
has a
is going to
voice
be a
who will
bunch of
pursue
washed up
justice for her
pygmies, 'cause nobody
accusation.
can defend an Aish man
As of
like
the
a
taken
washed up
against
pygmy.
Diddy,
Remember I
no
said
expansion
the
of the
patriarchy requires
investigation,
three things
no
to even
isolation
slightly
orders,
value a woman.
no
You
equipment
must
access,
be beautiful,
no suspension of
and you
attorney
must be dumb.
communication.
If you are young and beautiful, but you're not dumb, yeah, you're a bad woman. If you are young but you're not beautiful, like that's the only thing. In the women that bet on that, and they are no longer young or beautiful, but they are dumb. But dumbness has like they want you to be dumb so they can have access to you, not because it's just dumb, right? So the pygmies that are washed up, I know they are going to literally go crazy over this. The path to redemption. All I need for him to do is literally show up in a black church. Look how many times Kanye West showed his ass and showed up in a church or Sunday service talking about some. Every time that I look at you and we all forgave him. Get out of here. Now they said, of course, cynics, that would be me, say there's a different motivation. Diddy's federal trial featured lots of testimony about domestic abuse against Cassie and Jane, as well as his rampant use of drugs like Molly. It's not uncommon. It wasn't just Molly. They had meth in there. They had Tucci. They had the whole season 1 of Breaking Bad. Molly. Now he's just on the little party drug. Molly. It's not uncommon for convicted individuals to enter various programs to show the judge they're serious about rehabilitation ahead of sentencing. As we reported, Diddy's sentencing will go down on October 3rd. We're told he actually started the drug treatment before his arrest last year, and he's continued while in bars. Is it considered drug treatment program if you have no more access to drugs? I just thought that was just drying out. I do want to say this, and it needs to be said. How arrogant and unrepentant of Diddy that you were sitting in a federal judge for over a federal jail for over a year, and you still chose to do nothing. And only when you think it might affect your freedom are you now trying to do some. How much he could ease. I hope Judge Aaron laughs in his face. How much can this mofo change in 6 weeks? Did he felt, here's where we're, oh, did he felt federal prosecutors well dealt federal prosecutors a major loss when he was found not guilty on racketeering and sex trafficking charges, but the jury nailed him on 2 lesser charges for prostitution. They are also sex crimes. Prosecutors have recommended a 4-year sentence, but it'll be up to Judge Aaron. Wait, prosecutors recommended 4 years for each charge or 4-year, and how would TMZ know that? How would TMZ know how much prosecutors recommended? Let me go see. I don't think they recommended a 4-year sentence. The judge said, show me times where people have been convicted of the Mann Act with no prior criminals, and let's see what the average sentence is. The prosecution went into the case law and they found cases that said, hey, 4 years. Now here's the thing with the probation sentencing report. That's when they look at who Diddy is, what Diddy does, and if those 4 years are actually if it's appropriate, because if it's not appropriate, then what are we really doing? Honestly, what are we really doing? If it's not appropriate, it could be because in those cases, Diddy is more violent and more unrepentant. So those 4 years can creep up to 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. Listen again, Diddy is totally doing this to get a lesser sentence, but like everything that we know now of Diddy's legacy and the people support him, just pathetic. Tired, old, done. But you know what? What do y'all think in the comments? Let me know.